everybody. Welcome back to the Daily Aztec Debrief. I'm your host, Rami Alarian.
And I'm your co-host, Jalen Vega.
And we're with someone really lovely, part of the theatric arts, something that we like to showcase on this podcast a lot, but I think this person can intro themselves perfectly. Welcome, Jazmine.
Hi guys, I'm Jazmine. I serve as Vice President for Black Renaissance, and I'm a theater performance major. I'm minoring in digital social media studies, and I do acting, I do directing stuff, and I do a lot of the artsy, feel vibes.
The triple threat that everyone's talking about on campus. Well, it's wonderful to have you here today. We wanted to talk about Black Renaissance. We wanted to talk about theater production. Most importantly, could you give us a little bit intro into what Black Renaissance is all about? And if you know any history about it, we'd love to hear.
Yes. So Black Renaissance was built by our lovely Sierra Rain. She graduated a couple of years back, but she built Black Renaissance from the ground up. And so I reached out to her for this because I'm vice president and I've been serving as secretary for like the past two I'd say 3 years. 3 years. Congrats. I've been serving as secretary, and then I got the position of vice president. And so when it came, towards this opportunity, I was like, oh my God, I would love to speak, but I don't know the history because I didn't build the organization. So I reached out to her and she sent me this lovely voice memo. And she was so funny because she was like, sorry, I'm trying to get together 5 or 6 years of information in 18 minutes. So I was like, girl, you're all good. It's okay. So I sat down and I got some information for you guys. But Sierra, she started going to state in 2019. Peter Serino, he's one of the staff and faculty. I don't know if you guys
He used to be our advisor
for improv team.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, most definitely.
Oh my God. No, yeah. Dude, he's amazing.
Over. Yeah.
He's so cool. Oh my God, bless him. No, yeah, he's great. But yeah, he kind of encouraged Sierra to want to make an organization, specifically a Black organization for theater, because at the time she mentioned that the only clubs that were really active were Skull and Dagger. MTC actually, she said that MTC wasn't actually, which MTC is Musical Theater Club, but she said that they weren't as active as they are now, and so it was just Skull and Dagger and this other acting club called Cross Acting something.
Interesting.
But yeah, it was just those two. So it's kind of limited opportunities. And so I don't know if you guys are familiar with our program, but we have an MFA program, and then we have main stage productions and whatnot. And so every year we're required to audition for general auditions. And so that kind of dictates whether or not you get into a fall semester production for main stage, and that counts as credit for you to graduate basically. But especially during this time, if there's only 2 clubs that are active, and then you have to and then you also have another opportunity to get into a main stage production, it kind of doesn't really give you a lot of room to not everybody's gonna get cast, know? So it's I think that's probably one of the main reasons why Peter kind of encouraged her to kind of build an organization. So it was Sierra, it was JD, and it was Leilani Snow.
Shout out.
And COVID happened.
No.
So COVID happened, and kind of beginning of August 2020, Sierra, Leilani, and JD, they all kind of came together to try and make this organization. And they were like, okay, guys, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to make this organization. Big shout out to Peter Serino, because if it wasn't for him, Black Renaissance wouldn't be an org, and he kind of just really provided so much support and so much encouragement for all 3 of them to make this organization. And, the whole point of Black Renaissance is to promote Black excellence, to create such a safe space for Black actors, creators, filmmakers, and artists, because there's not a lot of us on this campus. And I think one of the main goals why we exist is we wanted to create a community and kind of bring people together and showcase their work. And so that was the main mission and the main priority, and it still is now. We still advocate for, Black actors, directors, choreographers, and more, and that's still our main focus. And so at the time, Leilani Snow, was older, and so Sierra was thinking that she was going to be president of the club and the organization. But a lot of stuff happened, and so like of course during COVID, like they went virtual, and so they decided to do a flip around, and Sierra became president. And so they were actually like the first Black organization to have done a production of Top Dog Underdog, which was really cool. And they did it. It was over Zoom.
Whoa.
Like, so yeah, so it was like we did our first production like at State, like over Zoom, and it was Top Dog Underdog. And we ended up getting so much like traction and engagement. Like there was so much support from the drama department as well as the like the BRC as well too. And yeah, so there was just a lot of like support from a bunch of people. And so the next production that they ended up doing was Detroit 67. And it was difficult because like at that time too, like it's a lot different now, so it's like a lot easier to reserve space. Like typically like where we have rehearsals, we have it at the experimental theater, or like other like buildings, like or not buildings, sorry, other spaces within the drama department. So it's easier to reserve space. But at the time, Sierra was mentioning that it was a lot harder, and so I guess something that I found interesting was the experimental theater was considered a storage unit at the time, is what she said. Yeah, I was like, I could not, like, it's so crazy because I have so many of my classes, like, quite literally in the X.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, I could not fathom that just being a storage place where just nothing happens in it. Just this, like, black
dead
box,
space,
this dead space just there. But no, yeah, she said that, so they decided to use, it was, like, in the PSFA building, and it was a room in the basement. And so it worked out well for the production of Detroit 67 because it was set like in a basement. So it kind of worked out. And it was a huge success. They ended up getting so much attention and love and support from, BRC again, as well as just like, drama students like in the drama department. And so the BRC played a huge, role within Black Renaissance at that time because there were so many issues with scheduling and whatnot. We had the opportunity to use the BRC, the Black Resource Center. And so that's where we would have typically a lot of our rehearsals, our GBMs, our events, and then we would have that community and that support there. And, it was important and it was helpful. And that was also the year that they did their first Black Film Festival. And we typically do it, every year now, but it's a tradition now. But that was the first time we had done it. And Sierra, she's so lovely, but she had mentioned that one of the main reasons why she wanted to, because yes, we do focus on, Black actors, directors, and whatnot, and we do focus on, like, theater productions and theater shows, but we also really wanted to encourage, like, Black filmmakers, and, like, we also really wanted to create that parallel between students that are part of the film department as well, because we know that there's also, like, the film, like, diaspora, like that's also really competitive, and like that program itself is really hard to get into, and so they only select a certain amount of people, so it's even smaller of us that are there. So we really wanted to create a space where they can also kind of be in like that kind of community, and I don't know, like it I feel like it worked out really well because then you have the opportunity to be face to face with different actors as well as like filmmakers, and so we can interchangeably use each other to, tell our stories or feel seen and be heard. And that was one of the main missions as to why she wanted to also incorporate film students as well. And so we had our Black Film Festival, and it was a huge success as well. Just a bunch of huge successes with this organization. And we also ended up winning a Mackenzie Award for Best Director and for Single Black Female, which Sierra directed. And whatchamacallit, it just, I don't know, it just kind of highlights, going back into the history, it just kind of like makes you look back at like, I don't know, just all that, Sierra, Leilani, JD, all that they've done, even Peter Serino, in terms of like support to make this organization possible. Because I can think back to when I was a freshman, like, and coming into this school, especially being interested in theater and film, like, I was really nervous because I didn't really know what to expect, like as anybody is. But, you know, I had heard of Black Renaissance and I was like, wow, like, you know, there's a Black organization and there's a Black, you know, club that's for me, that a space for me to meet people that look like me and have like similar interests that I do. And so it was really amazing to do that. And that's when I had my first show, and that's when I was able to really meet Sierra. And so they've, you know, since at that time they collaborated with Free Play Project. They worked with Kenny Leon, who is already in the industry, and they got these connections through Peter. And yeah, I think it's just truly amazing to just see like how far like we've come as like an organization. And even still to this day, Sierra will, you know, come out and support and come see our shows. The last year, actually, she came to see Pride and Prejudice, which was a show that I co-directed with my friend Jaden Silva.
Sweet.
And so she came can I speak? She came and she supported us, and it was really nice, and it was really sweet to see. And as I was listening to her voice memo, she just kind of said that, you know, she just hopes that the club like continues for all people of color to feel seen, heard, and supported through this organization. It's for all people, not just Black people. It may have started that way because we wanted, you know, we wanted to have a space for ourselves, and we wanted that community as well with the limited amount of people that we have. Yeah. But, you know, Black Renaissance, it's for everybody. Like, it's not limited to just, you know, Black people or to just us. You know, we have it open to everyone. You know, it's about people that don't feel seen, people that don't feel heard, people that want to express themselves through the arts and through writing, directing, and more. So that was one of the main reasons why she wanted to create this organization, and that's one of the main reasons why we do what we do, and we'll continue to keep that mission alive and to keep it going. So, yeah.
What a beautiful history.
Yeah, sorry, that was long.
No, it was lovely.
I mean, when you think about how long, like, SDSU's been an institution, over 150 years, like, this is still so new. Like, the history of Black Renaissance, like you said, is only 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Exciting.
That is. So.
You got to see the founders.
I know. I did. I got to see the founders. It was amazing. It was really nice.
You were there. You were performing with them.
I was performing. Oh my gosh, yeah. It's so funny too, because it's like I just got an email from commencement about graduation. I'm like, wow, like I was like a little baby freshman, and I was doing like the first production that I did was it was called Phantoms, and one of the writers, her name is Nandi, and she wrote the entire play.
Wow.
It was like Sierra kind of assisted in her with like, because, you know, writing, and then Sierra coming from like a theater background, she kind of added it to be applied to theater, if that makes sense. And so it was really cool. So it was like a personal, you know, written original work that I was doing, and, you know, it garnered like a lot of success. Like there were a lot of people that, you know, came and wanted to support it, and so it was really cool. But I just think back that I'm like, wow, like time is gone. Like what is happening right now?
It's awesome that you guys get to debut. Like, how often do you debut like original work?
Actually, well, I know that we did that. Like my freshman year, we haven't had the. Well, I think honestly, it mostly just kind of comes from somebody that's, you know, wanting or willing to. Yeah. Because I know, like, making a whole play, that's a lot.
Kind of crazy. Yeah.
That's difficult.
That's a little difficult. So I think that was, like, that's the only, like, original work that I can say that we've really done so far. Just because it's like, it just kind of comes from people wanting to do what they, you know, we really prioritize like, hey, like when we're picking and selecting shows, like what is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to see? And so I think oftentimes it's just kind of people wanting to choose something like, you know, that's a little bit more well-known, or just something that they have personal connection to rather than like, you know, writing it. So I would say I'd say like that freshman year was like when we got to do original work. But
are you allowed to tell us about the show picking process? I know a lot of organizations are pretty secretive about this.
Yeah.
Feels like we're breaking something.
I mean, I don't really know how much I'm really allowed to say. I think like it's like I mean,
Our first
you know.
media trained interviewee. We've never encountered this before.
She knows not to tell us.
I mean, in a way, you know, picking any type of selection process is really difficult.
Totally.
I think, you know, we always make it our mission to kind of highlight somebody that we know is able to kind of like do the right thing, kind of like we value their work ethic, like
Totally.
how they show up, you know. I think that kind of comes I would say that's a huge process when it comes to like picking shows, is just seeing like who we know is like really determined, really hardworking, and you know, we really like appreciate their overall vision. If that makes sense.
And if folks want to like be a part of Black Renaissance, what is the best way to kind of go about things?
I feel like we host GBMs every whatchamacallit. Like we typically host GBMs on Fridays. We're actually having a celebration for our 5th year anniversary. So we're doing an event at the BRC, and it's gonna be like a pie e-board member, and then also
Classic.
games and whatnot. And then we also have another GBM, you know, coming up soon. And so I would say if you want to be involved with Black Renaissance, just follow our Instagram. We have our production of Stew, directed by Belize Andrews, which is going to be at the Moxie Theater.
Oh, yes, because there was the change in how much... Oh, can you... Yes.
Yes, so, like, basically, like, there's just been, like, a huge change in, like, how the department is going to be running things. And so typically what happens with us and, like, other clubs and organizations is that we do two shows a semester. So our fall production as well as our spring production, and each show is, like, destined in the X. So because of, you know, budget cuts and whatnot, we haven't been able, the main stage as well as faculty and staff thought it was best to kind of cut like our time within like using the X basically. So we had the opportunity to do unsupported or supported production. So it just basically means that they're limiting our ability to like access like equipment because they want to prioritize it for main stage productions.
Gotcha.
Because they only get so many main stage productions for each semester, and because of like, you know, everything going on right now, like we're not putting on as many shows as we typically do. So it's like limited staff, so limited equipment, so they're trying to prioritize it for those types of productions instead of student productions. Another thing too is like, because there are also a lot more like clubs and organizations present now too, it just means that, you know, space availability is kind of really hectic right now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're seeing a lot, like in the drama department, is like sometimes clubs they don't have a room, so they're just rehearsing outside.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know.
I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, so it's kind of tough right now. But, yeah, so we're really lucky that we were able to collaborate with Moxie Theater. I mean, they're really great, they're really sweet, and they're really nice. And also gives us the opportunity to make money and charge.
True.
At least.
Very true.
Because, you know, when we do shows in the X, like, we're not allowed to charge for our club. So it's nice that we'll be able to charge, make money, support.
Fundraise the club.
Yeah.
Please support. We need money to put on our great shows. Thank you. But, no, yeah, so.
Is the club open to non-theater and film majors, or
Yeah.
is it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's open to everybody. Like, you know, you can
If
can
you're
be
a
part of it.
finance bro and you really
If
feel
you-
the
you're a finance
passion,
bro?
yeah.
Business, like literally, like just anybody. Like it doesn't have to be like you are a theater performance major or like your musical theater. Like, you know, like you don't have to be like arts focused. Like it's okay. And oftentimes there's a lot of people that like, I don't know, I think there was like one girl that was like a psychology major or something, and she was doing, you know, a part of like a production or show too. So it's
That's
like,
cool.
you know, like anybody can be a part of it. Like even if there's a space for everyone. So it's like,
Totally.
you don't have to just think like, oh, like I need to be the one on stage or I need to be like acting. Like you can also be interested in like design or tech or like anything that, you know, fills your interests. We're pretty open and we're pretty flexible.
Could you tell us more about the film festival? I'm wondering how that process kind of is and what it looks like.
The film festival is so nice. So we do that every spring, and it's kind of like our end of the year highlight. And so typically it's at Scripps Cottage, and we have like a red carpet theme. We figure out what the theme is.
Wonderful.
So like sometimes it's just like gala or like, you know, just like formal wear attire. We figure out like what we want to do. But we have like a banner out, so it's like we have somebody taking photos, so it's like paparazzi a little bit. Then we have vendors. We have like catering of like we do popcorn, and then we also do like it's a place called Gus Hot Dogs, so they like sell hot dogs and whatnot.
This is awesome.
And then like it's like literally free food. You guys should come. But no, yeah,
We'll be
so
there.
it's like
We'll do coverage.
And they'll be there too.
yes. But yeah, so it's like popcorn, snacks, like whole table of like food and whatnot, and then we get film submissions, so we'll do like a flyer, like Google form, and we'll reach out to people and be like, hey, like, is there a film that you've worked on and that you want to be a part of the film festival? And so reach out to people, get film submissions, and we try to like convise it into like one type of video, so it's like, you know, it works. And then we use the projector screens, we get people in there. What we've done in the past too is we have like, you know, like the movie posters and whatnot on the walls inside, so people can take photos. We also have like this, it's like this, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a glam bot something.
Oh,
but it's
wait.
like, yeah, it's like spins around.
Yes,
Wait, that's awesome.
It like spins
you stand
around.
in the middle of it.
Yeah. You stand in the middle and it spins around, and then like you have like a video and whatnot of, you know, you and your friends and whatnot. So we do that too, and that's inside. And then, you just free film, you watch, and you know you can chat until like the event is like over. But it's really fun. It's really nice. We always get like a good amount of people to come by, and like it's a nice opportunity to just connect and like, you know, talk about your films, or like talk about, you know, what you're doing or what you're up to, or if you're in there or if you're not. But yeah, it's open to everybody. We advertise it a little bit more when it gets closer to the event. I know this spring we're planning on having it May 2nd. So
Noted. Writing that down. May 2nd.
Yes. But no, yeah, it's really fun. I always really enjoy it. And Sierra had also mentioned that at the time when they had first done it, they actually were able to get somebody from Senegal to debut their film. So it was really nice. Yeah. So we've been doing it for a while now, so it's really cool.
That does sound nice. Well, I guess that kind of makes me wonder, how has it like grown over time? I don't know if you're familiar with that, but like, you know, it started out doing shows right off the bat, just 3 people and Peter Serino in a dream.
3 people, Peter Serino in a dream, yes.
And so I'm wondering how it's kind of like bubbled up into, I mean, me knowing throughout this entirety of me being on campus, see it as a very, very extremely one of the most prominent theater presences on this campus, like actually producing some of my favorite shows that I've seen theater-wise. So I'm kind of wondering how you guys have been able to see this much success and keep things growing.
Yeah, I think a lot of it kind of just comes from our team. I mean, we're all just like, we're actually like, majority of us are like women, and our good friend treasurer Mustafa. So it's like most of us are women, and it's so funny. So it's like, I think it just kind of comes back to us and like what we do. In terms of growth and success, I think, you know, before like Donna, because she was the original like president and whatnot, I think it kind of just comes from her kind of like training, like before like anybody graduates, or before like we're kind of like making a shift within like our board and like our team. Like we, like the previous presidents before us will train us, prepare us, like make sure we know like this is how we run it, this is how things go, this is the schedule. And that, I think that kind of allows us to kind of keep it going because we know what to expect. In terms of like, you know, like we have the film festival, this is when we need to plan this, or like, like our GBMs, this is when we need to schedule this. And so especially like when Sierra was kind of like bringing this together, at first like they didn't do productions and shows in the experimental theater. They did it in classrooms or like like when I did my my production with them, Phantoms, it was in a classroom in the music building. So
it was starting out bare bones.
Yeah, so it's like there was no experimental theater, there was no lighting and all this tech equipment that we now have. Before it was just classrooms and basements. And so I remember when I did that production of of Phantoms, and our changing room is quite literally a locker room for whatchamacallit, because it's the music building. So it's like sometimes people would come in to like, you know, put like, you know, their instrument back in their locker. So like that was our changing room, was like that locker room. And I vividly remember, it's so funny, I vividly remember it was during one of our shows and our productions, we were getting ready to like, you know, go out for like the next scene. And so like the way the room worked is like, it was like this huge staircase, and the staircase led into the locker room. And so like, you know, typically when you're like on stage, like, and you're doing a production, it's like you can like hear where like, you know, somebody said, it's like not with this layout. It's like, baby girl, you had to go to the door and like hope and pray that you could hear something, and then go all the way down to this staircase to like make it to like your mark on stage, basically.
You were making best guesses.
Literally, it's best guesses. And so I remember during one of the productions of the shows, like a guy had came in while we were about to like go on, and he was trying to like put like, I don't know, something back in his locker room, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know a show was going on." We're like, "Oh no, you're totally fine. You're totally fine." It wasn't like we were changing or anything. It was just like we were just about to.
There.
He was just there, but like, you know, it was just funny because it was like, yeah, like this was our changing like dressing room. But it's like, yeah, since then, going from like classrooms and basements to now being able to perform at the experimental theater or the X, and now even Moxie Theater is really cool. And I think, I don't know, like I think like that's like really amazing. I mean, for Sweat, like, you know, the fact that we were able to like have like an official set, because even at the time when we did Phantoms, there wasn't really like a set. So it's like the fact that we were able to have like a full team, like people that are, you know, able to like help out in terms of like support, the fact that we're able to do like graphics, like there's just so much that we've been able to like do and like accomplish and kind of like grow in. And I think a lot of it kind of just comes from like being consistent, you know, kind of like helping like our connections and whatnot, really getting close to like faculty and staff within like the drama department to kind of help us. You know, there's this really cool person, their name is Tyrika LA, and they're really dope and cool. And, you know, they've also been like a huge support in terms of like helping us get access to room spaces, rehearsal spaces and whatnot. And so, yeah, I think a lot of it kind of just, in terms of growth, I think a lot of it just comes from just the team, like staying consistent, connections, like knowing people, like, you know, and yeah, I think I would say, yeah.
Well, I'm excited, and I'm excited for more shows to come. What are we supposed to be looking out for in the future?
I would say,
Film festival.
Huge. Stew. It's gonna be at Moxie Theater. Show dates are gonna be April 21st to the 26th. Really cool. Guys should support. Guys should come out.
We're booking our tickets right now.
I would say, oh yeah, the anniversary celebration that we're doing. We're hoping to like do like promo videos and whatnot, and post them on our story soon. So be on the lookout of that if you want to follow our Instagram. It's really great. We post amazing stuff, and it also just is a way to kind of keep up with what we do on campus.
What's your Instagram?
My Instagram?
No, Black Renaissance.
Oh, Black Renaissance.
Yeah,
Plug it.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
not your personal. It's okay.
I was like, wait, hold on.
Unless you have like a professional one that you want to like plug yourself. If anyone.
No, professional one.
Yeah.
So it's SDSU _Black Renaissance.
Noted.
Follow. Yeah, so Yeah, SDSU _ Black Renaissance. Follow, support. We post a lot of stuff, a lot of great stuff. Come out to our events, and just truly, 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 again, like, it's literally open for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's open for everyone. Anybody interested in theater and film, art. We have great team, great people that are so inviting, so inclusive. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Do you have any, as we wrap up, last
We say
Black
call to
Renaissance?
action.
Yeah, Black Renaissance thoughts.
Black Renaissance thoughts. I think I think one of the biggest things is that I'm just so incredibly proud to be a part of this organization. I've been a part of this organization since freshman year, and I think it's just so important. It's so important to have an organization that provides a community, provides a safe space for people to express themselves and to be themselves and to feel seen and to be heard. And it's so incredibly important to tell stories that need to be seen and need to be heard. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we do is we invite this space and we invite this room for people to be them. And I'm very proud that I get to be a part of that. And I'm so happy that I've had the opportunity to meet Sierra, because she's amazing and she's great. And, you know, I do think that having this club on campus has allowed me to meet so many other people like me that, you know, share the same interests that I do. And I've made a lot of great friends and a lot of great, you know, people that I know will be in my life for a really long time.
Oh.
And yeah, I just, you know, hope to, you know, continue growing with this organization. I hope that it continues to prosper and grow. And yeah.
Yay.
That was beautiful.
That was very beautiful. Well, thank you for coming on, and thank you for joining us in the studio. Much appreciated. Everyone, go see a Black Renaissance show.
Yes.
Go to the film
Stu.
festival, Stu.
Film Fest.
And thank you, Jazmine.
Oh, thank you
Thanks,
guys.
Jazmine.
Oh my God.
Bye-bye.
Bye.